Welcome to this POCACITO webinar. Today on January 17th, I am Max Grunig, the president of Ecologic Institute in the United States. We are a nonprofit operating in Washington, D.C., working on environmental sustainability, especially urban sustainability, and that's also the core of our Post-Carbon Cities of Tomorrow project, short POCACITO, where we have a range of cities all over the US and people in Europe connecting and talking and discussing sustainability issues, ranging from mobility to energy to food to water management. And we've had already a range of, or a number of interesting webinars last year, and this is the first webinar in 2017. So hello and welcome to this fresh new webinar in the new year. And we have a first speaker here today. I'm very excited to have back, actually, Johanna Ekne from Malmö, Sweden. Johanna has traveled with us on the first POCACITO tour in June 2016. Together with two other Europeans, we went to 3 cities in the US. We went to Houston, Denver, and Las Vegas in 1 week, and we had a number of workshops there and met some of you. We had a very, very intense time and a lot of experiences, and we've seen quite a bit there, of course, very different from what Johanna will present to us today. Just very briefly, so Johanna obviously has a background in urban sustainability. She knows really a lot about how to make a city more sustainable, more climate friendly, and more people friendly too, I would say. She's worked for many years with the municipality in Malmö in Sweden, so she knows the city really, really well. She's also been working independently for her own company, and now she's on to something very, very new. And I won't explain too much about that because that's up to Johanna now. And I don't want to spoil this by saying anything, just that it has to do with a bicycle house or bicycles in a house. And with that, I want to hand over to Johanna. Oh, just a little bit of housekeeping before we start. So the whole thing will be over within the hour, so we'll keep it shorter than an hour. You'll have opportunity to ask questions after the presentation. So the presentation will start in a second. And you're all muted by default, but we can unmute you if you ask a question. There's several ways how you can ask a question. You can raise your hand, or you can click on ask a question, or you can also chat with us. I'll try to monitor all of these 3 channels in parallel, and please forgive me if I respond slowly. It's not that I don't want to respond, and once I see you, I'll then give the floor to you and you can ask the question. So if you have questions already during the presentation, you can type them in already. We'll just get to them after Johanna is done. And now I'm done, and I'm going to hand over to Johanna. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Max. Very nice to be here with you again. And very nice that we have an audience that will listen to my presentation. Johanna Ekne is my name. I'm from Malmö in Sweden. And I represent here today an architectural firm called Hausschild and Siegel. We have been working with a new project that I hope that you will find interesting. First of all, just very short background. The city I come from is called Malmö. And I don't know why, Max, but I can't show my next slide. Can you do something about that?
Yeah, try to close the presentation again and just open it again. So we can see your screen, we can see your mouse, but you're right, the slide doesn't move. So try that, otherwise I'll show, yeah? So we can see the screen, so it's not frozen. Just try it again.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
perfect.
Now we have it.
Great.
Thank you. So I'm located in Malmö in the south of Sweden, as you can see on the picture here. And this city is the third largest city of Sweden. We have now a little bit over 300,000 inhabitants, and we have an increasing population. Malmö is a popular city. We have about 5,000 new inhabitants coming in every year from Sweden, but also from abroad. We have a wide range of nationalities and cultures here. 25% of the citizens of Malmö were born abroad, actually, and we have 164 different nationalities represented. It's also a very young city. 40% are under 35 years of age. So it's a very vibrant city, I would say, a city with a lot of challenges, but also opportunities. And we have been working with sustainability for quite some time now, I would say. Malmö has gone through a big shift, and that's also an important part of our work with sustainability. We're an industrial city. When I grew up, Malmö was packed with heavy industries, shipbuilding industries, mechanical industries, and it was like that up till the 80s, when many of the industries had closed. Among them, the big shipbuilding industry that employed about 6,000 people in Malmö. So in the 80s, they had closed down, and Malmö had a severe financial crisis. And there was a lot of discussion on what to do about this crisis, how to face it, what to do about it, and how to get people back into work, into employment. And during the 80s and the 90s, a lot of important decisions were made in Malmö on how to move on. And it was finally, after a lot of discussion and trial and error, decided that we would go for a city of knowledge instead of a city of industry. We started Malmö University, our first university, that now has over 20,000 students. We built the Öresund Bridge to Copenhagen, Denmark, which suddenly gave us access to a huge airport in Copenhagen, and our communications suddenly improved very much. And we also built a city tunnel under the city that also improved our communications within the city, but also connecting us to other cities, both in Sweden and abroad. And this, together with a lot of work to get new companies and new businesses here, finally, over the years, gave a very good result. So Malmö today is a whole other city, and the industries are gone, most of them, and instead we have new businesses like IT, technology, medical technology, and retail, wholesale trade, and so on and so on. So it's a whole new city, I would say, and a popular one, as I said. And we have been working with sustainability for quite some time, like I said before. And we have gotten quite famous for it, I would say, both in Sweden and abroad. But we still have a lot of challenges, of course. And one of them is traffic. It's really popular to have your own car, and if you can afford it, you would have 2 cars or maybe 3, and you will drive even shorter distances within the city. And the result of that is of course, emissions that will cause health problems, also noise, problems when it comes to fighting climate change, of course, and also it's not safe for the citizens to have all that many cars in the city center. So there will be a lot of accidents. So this we needed to address somehow. And also the fact that these cars take up a lot of space in a growing city. And we need that space to build houses, for instance, for people to live in, and also have recreational spaces for them, like parks and playgrounds or whatever that gives your life more quality. So what to do about this problem? Well, the answer is, of course, biking. We need to move around in the city. How can we do that the best possible way? well, we can use the bike, of course. It can fill all our needs when it comes to transportation, both transporting ourselves, but also luggage or goods, different sorts. And also we can measure, of course. It's clean, it's silent, it's healthy, and it's cheap. So biking has so many advantages that we can use and that we can benefit from. So what we did, the firm that I work for, Hauschild & Siegel, is an architectural firm, but they're also developers. This is a rare combination in Sweden. Most are either architects or developers, but this firm is both. And when they work with the buildings, with the developments, from the idea, then they do the design, and they do the building, the development themselves. So they have a whole other view of the projects compared to other companies. And they decided they wanted to do something radical about this problem with the cars and go for biking instead. They went to the city for a meeting, asking them how they can work together with this issue. And together they decided that this house, this building that I'm going to tell you about, the bicycle house, that was to be the first building in Sweden that was allowed to be built without any parking space. Normally you would have to have parking space when you build something new. How much depends on where you are situated in the city. But in the city center it would normally be 0.8 parking spaces per household, and in the outskirts of the city would be normally 1 parking space per household. And this costs a lot of money, of course, and as I said, takes up a lot of space. So the city made an agreement with us, no parking space at all, the first building in Sweden, and instead we should use the money that we saved to make life easier for bikers, to build a bike house. So that's what we started to do. The location is in the Western Harbor in Malmö. This is a space that is known for its sustainability. As you can see up to the right, this is the view over the Western Harbor 50 years ago, building large ships. But now it looks like the picture you can see to the left. It's a residential area, and also a lot of smaller companies situated in the Western Harbor. And it got really well known 15 years ago when it was built, because it was built in a sustainable way, and also, for instance, the energy that is used in the area is produced there, and it's 100% renewable energy, making it possible for the area to provide itself with heating and electricity. Also, there are other solutions there, like transportation, waste management, and so on and so on. So this area has been our test bed for working with sustainability in a modern urban context. So therefore, this was a good location for our new project, the bicycle house. And in about a year ago, we started to build in the house. This is the beginning, as you can see. And this is what it looks right now. We're not finished yet, but in a couple of weeks, the first tenants will move in. This is a house for both rental apartments and also hotel apartments in the bottom floor. And it's 7 stories high. It's situated next to a skateboard track. And this skateboard track is rather interesting also because it is situated on top of the old dock, the old slipway where the ships were built in the old days. You can see the slope. This is where the ships were laying when they were built, and then it went from the slope down into the water. And the water was actually then at the same location as our houses today. So this is a landfill that has been created over the years. And this skateboard track is actually the biggest in Sweden, one of the biggest in Europe. We have World Cup competitions there. And the interesting thing is that the skateboarding community in Malmö has also been an active part of building this. Skateboarding is very popular here. We even have a skateboard high school in Malmö. So this is where we're situated, and it also gives us a very good location because we have a free view over the skateboarding track, and nothing will stand in the way of this nice view. And we can also see the red buildings over there. It's the old buildings from the shipbuilding days that we have preserved. So the new meets the old, I would say here. It's also an example of social sustainability, giving the young people in Malmö something to do together. So that's where we are, and this is how the house is going to look when it's finished in a couple of weeks. 7 stories, as I said. This is the green doors in the bottom. It's the hotel. Small loft apartments. I will show you them shortly. And then rental apartments. And we have 55 rental apartments here. On top, there is a green building. There is a sort of a greenhouse, but basically a place where the people in the building can meet. We can fit in about 35 people in there to have meetings or events together. 55 apartments, as I said, and here is one of them. It's just one example. This is a 4-bedroom apartment. We have all sizes from 1 bedroom up to 4-bedroom apartment. This is a loft apartment with 2 floors, as you can see, in a terrace outside. And this is how the hotel room looks like. It's just a sketch. We're not finished. The hotel is not opening until March. But this gives you an idea of how it will look. You have your own entrance going into the apartment, and you can go downstairs or upstairs. Actually, I changed it so the bed will be downstairs together with a bathroom, and upstairs there will be a kitchen, a study, and also a small sofa where you can relax. And of course, you will have your own bicycle connected to the hotel room, so you can use the bike to travel, and it will take you about 5 minutes to travel into the city center with the bike. And if you go the other direction, you can bike to the ocean in 2 minutes and take a nice bath, or maybe just a stroll along the boardwalk. So the biking measures then in this house. Well, people will probably bring their own bike, but we have also created a bike sharing pool for them, taking care of their special needs when it comes to bikes. So if you want to go grocery shopping, you can borrow a cargo bike. If you want to travel a longer distance, you can use the electrical bike you see on the top at the right. You can use a taxi bike if you want to take maybe your mom on a ride, or pick somebody up at the train station. You can use the taxi bike. You can use a foldable bike, as you see in one of the pictures down below. That one you can bring along when you go on a train or on a bus, and when you reach your destination, you can just unfold the bike, and you have the whole city at your disposal using a bike. And on the right, you can see there's what we call a kindergarten bike. There would also be one of those available, so you can maybe invite the neighbor's kids on a bike ride, so you can fit in about 6 kids in one of those bikes. Very popular here in Sweden at daycare centers, for instance. Another thing that is practical, if you want to bring your bike with you up to the apartment, you can do that. The elevator is kind of wide and long, so you can bring your bike into the elevator even if you have a cargo bike. And then when you come up to your entrance balcony, you can bring your bike along all the way to your apartment. And you can even bring the cargo bike all the way into the kitchen, as you see on the picture here, for unloading your groceries. Or maybe you would just stop in the hallway and let your kids get off the bike. Here's one example of an entrance balcony. It's the neighboring house that we also have designed and built. So this is how it's going to look on the entrance balcony. And we will actually put up a special, I don't know the English word for this, as a small hook that you can put your bike, if you want to hang your bike on the wall outside of your apartment, you can use this hook, and you will just attach the pedal to the hook, and the bike will just hang there, and you will save some storage space that you can use for other things. If you want to bring your bike inside, indoors, you can do that as well. And if you want to take good care of your bike, you can also do that in this building. We will have a bike repair station in the basement. This is just an example, this picture that you see, because ours is not finished yet, it's not been built yet, but this is how it's going to look, or similar to this. So you can take care of your bike here. We will also bring an expert, maybe once or twice a year, to the house that will help take care of their bikes if they need some expert help with doing some repair job, for instance. There will also be a bike wash, so you can wash your bike outside of the house using a hose, as you see in the picture, and also a pump, so you can fill the tires with air if you need to. We have a bike sharing system in Malmö, of rental bikes that's situated all over the city, and we have a station of those just outside of our house. So you can use a smart card and go to this station and pick up one of the rental bikes. There's also a possibility both for the people living in the rental apartments, also for the hotel guests if they need extra bikes. And the people in the rental apartments will probably get, people in the hotel apartments will probably get free smart cards so they can use these rental bikes as much as they want to. We also have an agreement with the commercial car sharing pool that is using environmentally friendly cars. They are called Sunfleet, and they are situated in every larger city in Sweden. So when you move into the bike house, you get a free membership in the car sharing pool for 10 years. But then, of course, you have to buy for the gas, a small fee when you use the car, but the membership is for free. And the good thing is that if you take the train to Gothenburg or Stockholm, you are a member also there, so you can book a car online, and when you reach your destination, you will have an environmentally friendly car waiting for you if you need a car. Otherwise, you will, of course, use the bike. Another thing that we find would be practical was the ability to shop online, so you don't have to have your own car. And we also know that's more sustainable if the deliveries is made by a company that can do what we call, I'm looking for the English word here, well, the loading and then the freight is coordinated so that there will be less driving. And for that purpose, we are now installing delivery boxes in the lobby of our house. So we are trying to get all the bigger delivery companies on board so they can deliver goods into these boxes, and then the house residents will get an SMS that your delivery has now arrived. You can pick it up in delivery box number 7, for instance, and then we'll get a code so they can open delivery box number 7 and get their goods. And the idea that we have is that it would be great if it also could be possible for the residents to send back deliveries if there was something wrong with them, or if they want to send a package to someone, they should be able to just put it in the delivery box and the delivery company would come and pick it up. We are not there yet, but we're hoping to get there in the future because that would be really, really convenient. Okay, The house is also going to be very green outside because it looks very good, and it's also good for other purposes to have a greenery on the facade. It will help to cool the city if we have got a lot of green walls, also take the noise down and attract insects and birds and create a better biodiversity in the city. So it has many advantages other than just being beautiful. So there will be a lot of greenery, green plants climbing on the wall, and there will be boxes on the balconies all the way up where we will plant also some climbing plants so that the whole house will be covered. And those will take care of themselves automatically with an automatic watering system, so we don't have to water them and disturb the residents. They will take care of themselves. Basically, and this is how they are attached to the building. And of course, many of the apartments have large balconies and terraces so they can grow their own vegetables and flowers. We find that very important, so if possible, we want to make as much room outside as possible for the residents. And this is a picture from one of the neighboring houses that we have also designed. So we hope that this new building will also be as beautiful in the summertime as this. There will be a common garden up on the roof. That is the 8th floor then. So there will be a garden with bushes and trees and different plants where all the residents can gather, have events together, or they can just have dinner up there if they want to. Be a really, really nice view also. You can see the ocean from the roof garden. So we hope and think that this will be a popular space in the summertime. And of course, we have also put up some solar panels on the roof, taking care of the sun for electricity production. And well, this is just a start, but this is the building I showed you before. It's going to be a sort of a greenhouse and also a common indoor space for all the residents that they can book for events or birthday parties, but also for common activities together with their neighbors. A special feature that we have is that we have concrete walls. We work a lot with concrete. It's a debated material, we know, but we feel that it's beautiful. It's very sustainable because it lasts long, needs no maintenance, and it's also a good reservoir for heat. So the heat from the sun will be stored in the walls during the day, and then it will give heat to the apartment during the night. And also the concrete walls, we keep them like that also indoors, like here. So this is just a sketch how it's going to look, but it's rather a special design that you either like very much or you don't like. But we have warned all the residents that this is how it's going to look, and you're not allowed to paint the walls or put up wallpapers. So this is how it's going to look. And I have a few examples for you from a former project. This is how it looks. This is the living room. We have here a bedroom, another bedroom, and a study, and the kitchen. So basically, this is how it's going to look indoors, and we are very much looking forward to having all the new residents moving in here in just a couple of weeks. Really, really exciting, and we hope that they will like it, their new home in the bicycle house. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Johanna. This was really, really interesting. I would move in immediately if I could. I have to say, here in Washington, I don't know if there's anything even remotely similar. I mean, even just looking at, modern architecture and this kind of outdoors-oriented design of the whole building, even if you don't look at all the ideas about bicycles and having you know, non-car access. I mean, this is kind of level 2, but just the basic having architecturally designed building that doesn't look like a standard building. It's really, really impressive. And I wish you, of course, that this will be a super success. Now,
Thank you.
well, thank you. I mean, this is really interesting, and I think it's great that you present this here to a wider audience so that people who are not in Malmö, who are not in Sweden, can also learn about it. And I have a few questions to you, but I'm sure that some in the audience also have questions. And we even have some questions for the audience. So get all ready already. So there'll be some questions in a minute. But Johanna, just a question to start with. I mean, what's the time frame for that? How many years has this been in the making?
Well, the actual building has been going on for about a year. The planning process, I would say maybe 1 or 2 years earlier prior to that. And we have also been waiting for the right location. So this particular plot was actually meant for another developer, but they never came to do it, so we got the chance instead.
Okay. Oh, wow. Great. Great for you. Now I want to ask our participants here on the other side of the computers to participate in polls that we prepared. So we'll start. The first poll is actually, and if you would like to get active and start voting, the question is biking promoted in your city? So the city you live in, and you can answer, you can say it's 100% priority, and you can say it's somewhat a priority. That means maybe something like you do have some bike lanes, but it's really secondary to cars. Or you can say it's not promoted at all. I know that this might be a little bit uh, limited in choices, but I see almost all of you have voted, so I'm going to close the poll and I'm going to show you the results. And Johanna, you can see it too. So the majority says, the vast majority says it's somewhat promoted. And only one person said it's 100% of a priority. And of course, this was an anonymous poll, but I would like to know if the person who said it's 100% priority could maybe indicate this and mention, either raise a hand or ask a question or put that in the chat, and then we can give you the microphone in a second, and you can say at least where you're from if you feel like it, because that's really exciting. So we do have more of these polls, and Johanna, but in between, I wanted to ask you one thing. I mean, you showed a lot of photos with a lot of sun and people in T-shirts, etc. But we all know that Malmö is not in the Caribbean, right? So, what about biking in the winter? Is that people do that, or is that less common?
Yes, we do that, especially in the south of Sweden, because we rather seldom get any snow. We could have an ice problem sometimes, but not much
Yeah.
snow. And the good thing is that the municipality has decided that bike lanes should be prioritized when taking away the snow and ice. So even if it is snowing and really cold, you would have the possibility to use the bike lanes. And we have almost 500 kilometers of bike lanes in the city. And this city is rather small, actually. So that's really good.
Wow. It's very, very impressive. So it really is a priority in your city, you would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because they see the benefits.
Okay. So this kind of leads to our next poll. So everybody is back invited to poll on this or to vote on this one. It's a question about more the community. So not just in terms of NGOs and citizen groups, do you have a vital pro-bike community in your city? And here you can vote yes, no, or you don't know. And I see we have already a lot of people have voted. I'll leave this open for 2 more seconds. And if nobody else wants to vote on it, I'll close the poll now and you can see the results. So it's interesting. Absolutely nobody said no. We see most people said yes, you do have a vital pro-bike community. And we have just a minority saying they actually don't know this or they can't really answer this right away. So this is really interesting. So I think with that we can go maybe to our third poll, and I promise this is the last one, so you have to be active one more time. It's a question about social acceptability or kind of norms, or in your city, is biking socially accepted in professional settings? Meaning, is it accepted if you go to work with it? Is it accepted you go to meetings? And I see quite a few of you have already voted. And now I think I'm going to close the poll. We have actually a little bit of a mixed result here. So we have about half of the respondents say it's pretty much 100% accepted in all contexts, but a little bit more than 50% think it's only accepted in some contexts. So that again is very interesting, and I would like to invite those of you who said it's accepted only in some contexts to mention or to speak up, either ask with a question or raising your hand or with a chat, so that we can give you the microphone and you can maybe explain what contexts that are. Okay, so now, Johanna, just before we go into the open discussion, I have a few more questions to you, and they both are only semi-related to the biking, and I hope it's okay for you that I ask basically non-biking questions.
Absolutely.
Okay, one is about, we all know this, that it's relatively, I wouldn't say easy, but it's, you can develop great things in a city. But then is always the challenge to, or how to maintain a certain level of affordability and mixed income access, so you don't want to what we call gentrification. So we don't push residents out, or you don't make it an enclave for high income earners. So do you have anything you can tell us about that question regarding your project?
Yes. I would say, firstly, the municipality owns a housing company that is also a developer, and they have the responsibility to make affordable apartments, rental apartments for the people of Malmö. So that's their goal, and they would be the gatekeeper to see that that happens on the market. And also, when we build a new building like we are doing now, we have to leave half of the apartments to the municipal waiting system. So we can't just give all the apartments away to whoever we like. Half of them we must leave to the city, and they will choose people that have been waiting the longest for an apartment to move in to our building.
Okay, so this is definitely kind of a mixed income building. And now you mentioned this, but I think I forgot it half already. So about the apartments in your family, so do these apartments also accommodate families, or is it more geared towards singles, or is it a mix in the building?
It's a mix. We have all sizes of apartments from 1 bedroom up to 4 bedroom.
Great, great. Exciting. So do you know already who's going to be the tenants, or is that still in development?
Oh, yes, we know. They are moving in 2 weeks, so we know.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So how was that? Did they have, was it like a competition for people to apply to be in there? Was there a lot of interest?
There were a lot of interest. What we did, since this is a special project, we were interested to get bikers here, of course. So we got also the permission from the city to send out a poll to everyone that was interested, asking them questions on what do you think about living your life without a car? Do you often go by bike? Are you interested to be part of this community? And so on and so on. And if you said, no, I don't like bikes, I love cars, you would have to go live somewhere else, actually.
Right, right.
But of course, people can always tell you a lie if they're really interested in the apartments. But we knew that they have filled out the form, they have taken the poll, and that also made it possible for us to make sure that they have gotten the information about the house and they have gotten the message. So that was the most important thing, I think.
Great, great. And will you do, since you'll be the manager, will there be some kind of community activities to connect the people who live there? Is that because you said as a joint roof garden, etc.?
Yeah, we will absolutely try to make that happen. And we just this morning actually had a meeting with a group from another project, one of the municipal projects. They have built a house for people that likes to grow things with large balconies for growing and so on. And they also had a poll for them, asking them if they wanted to grow things and so on. And they just told us today that they were amazed by the huge interest in the building, in doing things together, having common activities, and the residents themselves arrange like poker nights or whatever. You know, they do a lot of fun things together. So that's really nice to hear and gives us a lot of hope that this will happen also in our building.
Great, great. Poker nights at the bicycle house.
Yes,
So,
that would be great.
so one more question that's more coming to from the practical terms of the building. You've shown these pictures with the wide doors, wide hallways, wide elevators. I wonder, do you consider the house wheelchair accessible? And was that part of the consideration in the development as well, to make it a house that's accessible to people who are wheelchair users?
Yes, absolutely. And we have to do that. It's in the law. So even if you wanted to escape it, we couldn't. So
Right.
absolutely.
Very good. Very, very, very good. And I hope actually that we will be able to go there in some point in the future and visit the bicycle house with a group of visitors. But since we don't have that plan anytime soon, Johanna, I would be really excited if you could take some pictures once it's up and running and share them with us, either on Facebook or on LinkedIn or in any other way you like, because that's really great, and we could definitely post these as well.
There is already a Facebook page actually and an Instagram as well. So I post pictures there every day, and as soon as right now it's more like for the residents, but it's open to anyone, and we will soon start to make more posts in English for our international hotel visitors. So you're welcome to follow us on Facebook or Instagram.
Excellent, excellent. And I see we do have a question from Jeremy Jones, and I just unmuted you. So if you want to ask your question or comment on the discussion, you can go ahead now.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes?
Hi, oh, not really a question, but I was just thinking of your project and just looking at a lot of our projects here in Portland, Oregon. There are quite a few of cycle-focused residences here in Portland,
Okay.
and just thought that that might be a good. Sorry, excuse the noises.
Well, it's busy in Portland too.
Yes, as I walk around Portland, I just see a lot of apartment buildings cropping up with bicycle icons on the front of them and infrastructure
Oh, nice.
to try to accommodate and attract really and entice people to try to live there, especially in the inner east side where I live of Portland.
Excellent.
Okay.
That's
That sounds
really
great.
exciting. Yeah, really exciting to hear. And it means we should also come to Portland, definitely. I mean, as I mentioned in the beginning, we've traveled with the POCACITO project to 6 cities in the last year. We went to Houston, Denver, and Las Vegas with Johanna. And then in September, we went to Minneapolis, Memphis, and Detroit. And we're definitely interested in going to other cities as well. And I think it's a great idea to mention also Portland as a bicycle leader in its own way. And it's interesting that similar concepts seem to appear in very different places across the globe. Thank you, Jeremy, for bringing that up. And I'll mute you again, but if you have more questions or comments, feel free to voice them again. So, oh, just one more. Of course, and you're unmuted. You can speak again. Yes, please.
Yeah, just one question about the topography of Malmö. I was wondering if Malmö has got elevation shifts and if that at all affects the city's bicycling culture.
I'm
Yes,
sorry,
Johanna.
I didn't get that.
Oh, is it hilly? Is it hilly or is it flat?
Oh, it's very, very flat. Very, very flat, very dense, and also very windy. So the wind is our problem when it comes to biking. That's why electrical bikes is getting really popular here, because you get some help with the wind.
Does it answer your question, Jeremy?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm just very curious about how that intersection, because Minneapolis has, you know, again, a lot of wind and weather challenges, but very flat.
Yeah.
Portland's challenges are different. It has a big hill component.
Right. Yeah, and it's interesting how different cities with different topography or weather settings deal differently with bicycles. And it's what we found amazing was also that it's really different climates also where bicycles can flourish. Like Minneapolis, people bike in the middle of the winter and they do get a lot of snow. And similarly to what you said, Johanna, in Malmö, they clear the bike path. And that's something, if you make this a priority, then yeah, you can actually bike even in the winter. And we've been in Las Vegas where they have not only bike lanes, but they also will start a bike sharing system. And you think this is not the most bike-friendly place necessarily, but this is really something that people demand and want to see in their cities. And it's especially these fast bike commuter lines. And Johanna, you have them in Malmö too, right? These bicycle fast lanes.
No, I wouldn't call them fast lanes. What we try to do is to separate the bike lanes from the streets, so that it would be safer, but not fast lanes. No, I wouldn't call them that.
Okay. Yeah, good. Well,
may I make one comment?
Yeah?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment. One thing I notice in Portland that's really prevalent is the prevalent presence of, I don't know, I wouldn't call them bike lanes, which are of course everywhere, but also, excuse me, bike shortcuts. So these little secret shortcuts that they've made specifically just for bikes to sort of get around the traffic grid. It cuts down travel times amazingly, and I'm sure that that can be a decision factor in whether you use a bike or not.
Yeah, we have
Absolutely.
them as well. It's really, really great. Also always gives me great pleasure to, pass all the cars that are waiting in line. Just go ahead with the bike so much faster.
Yeah, that
Johanna, do you have a rough number what the modal split is between cars, bikes, and other public transport in Malmö?
I should know this. I don't. I'm sorry. I have to
Okay,
get
sorry,
back to you on
sorry,
that.
just no pressure. And Jeremy, you had another comment or question?
I was
Okay, no, I'll mute you back again, and I wanted to say thank you again to all of you for being here on this webinar, for following the presentation. As always, this one is recorded, so if you missed anything or you want to watch certain parts again, you can do that in about a day. It will be ready and online. You'll get an email. And if you have any questions, of course, feel free to contact Johanna or me or any other staff at Ecologic Institute. Johanna, do you want to say anything, closing words before we close the session?
I just want to say thank you very much for listening and joining. It was really a pleasure to give a presentation for you, and I hope that it gave you something of interest. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and you have a good night, and everybody else, good rest of the day, and be in touch soon again. Thank you for joining us today. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.